What is up, Jags fans? We are here and ready to go. We are on the cusp of playing the 49ers at home, and we're about to go 7-2 after this win. But to win, there's a couple things the Jags are going to have to do, and I have some film cut up. I spent way too much time watching 49ers games today. I really did. So I have a lot of film. As usual, I will not get to all of it because I never do, but I think I can give you an idea of what they have done in the past, pre-losing streak, post-losing streak, and I think I have a good idea of what they're going to try to do to us and what the Jags are going to have to do to try to win. So we're going to jump into like some film on what they've done in the past, but before we do, this is a fan show. I say this every show. I'm a fan. You guys are fans. The only reason why we're able to do these live shows is because we all get together. This is like a round table of Jags fans talking Jags. So in order for that to happen, and in order for me to facilitate this conversation, I need you guys to get into the chat. So here's what I want. I want you guys to tell me what you think will happen on Sunday, what you think the Jags will need to do to win, and ultimately, what you think this game means for the Jags season. Now, the chat's already popping off because you know these Friday shows are a little unhinged compared to the Tuesday night shows because we do live shows Tuesday night and Friday nights almost religiously. So we do film breakdowns on those nights. So get in here, get in the comments. If you're someone that lurks, and you're like, I like to watch but not comment, get in the freaking comments and tell me how you feel. This is a fan show. If you're somebody who watches the shows after the fact, people tell me all the time, like, yo, bro, 9 p.m. is too late for me. I'm in bed, I'm asleep, and I watch them after the fact. I appreciate that. I really do. And watch it and maybe leave a comment on the YouTube channel. But you're missing out on the live shows. I think for the first time ever, Seedon Sesko is the first person in the chat. And he says, yo, and he says the best ref in town is here. Now, usually I sell Seedon a little short on his reffing ability, but you know what? Tonight I'll be a little generous. I'll give him top 10 ref status. Top 10. I'll give him that. That dude, Evan, says, Jason, and I found out on the last show and Tuesday night show, because it was a bye week, we had no film to cut up. So we talked Jags for like 30 minutes. And then we talked life lessons for 30 minutes. So here's what I want you to do. If you did not watch Tuesday's show, and I know I'm talking a lot and not showing film, and someone in the comments like a week ago was like, you talk too much, show more film. I can't help it. I'm a talker. I cannot help it. But so here, I'll get to film in a second. If you have not watched Tuesday's show, skip the Jags talk. It's just bye-week talk. Fast forward to 30 minutes and then watch the life lesson part of the show. It's the back half of the show. I got life lessons from the comments from Jags fans, and we talked about life lessons that we live by, whether they're quotes, creeds, whatever they are. So go back and watch it. It was very, very entertaining. It was actually probably one of my most favorite shows that I've done. So go back and watch that. Follow everything: YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch is in the film video description. But I found out on Tuesday's show that dude Evan and me went to the same high school. We're both Fletcher graduate beach rats. So I love to see that. William thought he was first. Montana also thought he was first. And although William and Montana are very quick to get here, they were not first this week. And the only reason why they're quick is because they have the notification bell on. So hit that notification bell. Rico says Duval. Timmy Devil said second. Timmy Devil, I hate saying this in front of all of these people. And if we were mic'd up, this would be one of those exposed mics ups. But I think Timmy Devil is my favorite commenter. I hate to say that because he's a realist. But Timmy Devil brings me back to earth. I like to ride high. I've been a Jags fan my entire life. Timmy Devil's comments bring me back to earth, so I appreciate that. Irish Jag 77 says, hi from Ireland. It's 2 a.m. here. Good Lord. Okay. I appreciate it. It's a weekend. It's a holiday here in America, so you don't even know. Raiden Shogum says, hello, Raiden. I haven't seen Raiden on Twitch in a while. I will say that. That dude Evan says underrated key to victory, score more points than the 49ers. Okay, we're more complex than that, Evan. We are more complex than that. Brandon McKenzie says his score prediction is 22-21 Jags. We win it on a last-minute touchdown drive with a 2-point conversion. Hey, Siri, set a reminder for Sunday about Brandon's score prediction. Okay, so now we will have that on record if that happens, Brandon, because that is very specific. Volkfang, who's the first channel member in the chat, says, what's up, guys? What's up, Volkfang? Stone says, I finally caught a live show again. Stones, I'm pumped that you're here. Being here in the live show is way better. I can't imagine watching this on VOD and being like, that dude's insane. That's what I would think watching me on VOD during a live show, because live shows are just so much better. Get in the comments here. Iris Jag says, our players love Balky, and I think they will go that extra yard to beat his old team. I not even once thought about that Balky used to be with the 49ers. That is wild that I never thought that. I never even thought about that. That's crazy. Jaggernaut says, we got to get pressure on Purdy so Debo's ineffective. Keep McCaffrey in check. Shiny dub. Here we come. So I just want to show you one thing real quick, and this was on the Reddit, and I don't know if this means anything. This was on because I was perusing the 49ers Reddit because I'm not like one of these trolls, but I like to like kind of see what they're saying. They posted this about Debo's value. When Debo Samuel is on the field, Brock Purdy's QBR is first in the NFL. His touchdown to interception ratio is first in the NFL. And his yards per attempt is first in the NFL. So Debo Samuel obviously has a massive impact on Brock Purdy. And I get that. Like, I completely get that. Like, imagine Trevor Lawrence without Evan Ingram. Like, it would be a completely different game. Like, he's a check down. He's a safety valve. He gets yards after the catch. He always knows where he's going to be. So I kind of get this. I don't think this is a big deal. Like, I'm not worried about this, but I do think this was like something like noteworthy to bring up. Like, I really did. Like, this is kind of crazy. Like, Purdy's an interesting case study. I will say that. And I think Jaggernaut's spot on with got to get pressure. But to be fair, Jaggernaut, like, getting pressure on quarterbacks is a key to victory in every game. So I'm gonna need a little bit more from you on that. Thomas Shortledge says Trevor legacy game. No, I can see that happening. Antonio, I lost it. Okay, Antonio Tolentino says Jags have a ton of bulletin board material from the media and the 49ers. It is weird to see the media kind of like, I mean, the Vegas kind of came in, what, 3-point dogs for the Jags. Home dogs are usually what people bet, so I think you'll see that line move down, I think. Crossbone says, I have a good feeling about this game. I love it. Steven Giles says, these are the kinds of games the Jags would always lose, but the Doug Peterson, Trevor Lawrence era is all about breaking streaks. 7-2. Here we come. Elena's dad says, we need a big game from Trevor. Montana says that he's never been first. Montana, it's okay, buddy. It's okay. Listen, I honestly don't care who's first. I just am glad that you're here. Thomas Shortledge goes on to say, Andre Cisco pick game. Sharney, who says is the Scharnhorst _42, says, I'm here. And you know what? I was talking with Sharney all day today. He was in my Twitch channel. I was on Twitch earlier today talking Jags. I was in his Twitch channel talking Jags. So he asked me not to pump his Twitch channel. So I won't. I will not pump Scharnhorst _42 on Twitch. I will not pump his channel. I will not pump the fact that you can search that on Twitch and you can follow him on Twitch. I will not pump that. I told him I won't, so I won't. So I will not say that you can search that and find him on Twitch. I won't say it. Washington State Jags fan, who's also a channel member, says, super pumped for this game. This game is like the most exciting game that we've had this season. Now, I know we have a Monday night and a Sunday night game, which I'm excited about, but to date, this is it. Volkfang says, I cannot wait to see us beat the 49ers. And the haters go talk about, the 49ers haven't won in over a month. They're not really that good anymore. I think the 49ers, and I got to show film, dude. People are going to not watch my video. I'm 15 minutes in, and I haven't shown any film, and I apologize. And I think people have gotten to the point where they just fast forward through the videos until the film comes up. But, like, I think what's interesting about the 49ers is they are built a lot like the Jaguars. Like, they are very similar in their teams. The big difference being Brock Purdy is not equal to, is not equal to Trevor Lawrence. So great running back, great receivers who can catch the ball in space, a really good tight end, a defense who really comes up and like all 11 guys pursued the ball. The teams are built very similar, which is why I think everyone has kind of expecting this to be a good game. Luckily, we're home. Timmy Devil says, I think Devin has already had a few breakout games this year. His cast is holding him back on Devin Lloyd. Okay, so let me get to some film here because, again, people watch this for the film. So I'm going to show a couple plays here, and then I want to get to, like, the 49ers schedule and, like, what kind of stands out to me because I was looking through all the games and the stats, and some things stood out to me. So number one is we have to kind of contain McCaffrey, right? We have to kind of contain McCaffrey. So he is a really good player. Everybody knows that McCaffrey is a really good player, and I'm gonna hide this chat just for the film. I can still see it, boys. Don't worry. So I went through all of their games. I mean, every single game I watched, and they're gonna anytime they're inside the 10-yard line, they're going to feed McCaffrey every single play. They do a lot of pre-snap motion. Kyle Shanahan will literally shift pre-snap motion to try to confuse the defense. He has this really, and I didn't clip it because, like, every time I watched it, they would gain like 5 or 6 yards, and I was like, I'm not clipping that. But I saw it so many times where I was like, I got to address it. He has this interesting strategy where he like shifts out. Like, he lines up tight the way that the Jags and Doug Peterson do, but then he shifts out a guy and then makes the defense spread the field, and then he runs a guy to the middle of the field or runs the ball inside. Does that a bunch. This is what they're going to do. They're going to run the ball inside here. This is something interesting to me because they're in this, like, 21 gun, right? We call it, like, 21 because they have let's see here. Let's see if we can get our pen working here. Pen's not working, but they're in 21 gun. They got 2 running backs. They're going to run a lead with McCaffrey here. But look what they do. They use Elijah Mitchell as a lead blocker. And, like, they're going to end up scoring here. But, like, Elijah, like, you can see they put Kittle in motion here because, look, watch. So watch Kittle go in motion. So this is going to shift the linebackers. This is going to shift your nickel corner out. Like, in no world should Elijah Mitchell be lead blocking right here. Like, that dude's, like, not even 200 pounds. So the Jags should blow that up. A touchdown here. Here's something that is interesting, though, and I want to close out of this to see if my pen will work if I do it the correct way here. Here's what they'll do. Again, this is against the Cowboys, and they had a great game against the Cowboys. Almost like an outlier of how well the offense played against the Cowboys. Here's that inside zone, great run, but McCaffrey fumbled. And you know what? Like, actually, I kind of saw him fumble a couple of times. Like, I had no idea that McCaffrey had fumble issues this year, but he's fumbled multiple times. And the Jags, who lead the league in turnovers, and maybe not after the bye week, but, like, there's a chance that McCaffrey fumbles the ball. And there's a chance that Purdy throws an interception because they turn the ball over, especially the last 3 games. They're going to run this inside. They're going to run this inside zone for sure. Here's a play that I thought was very interesting against the Cowboys. I'm going to restart my pen here because it's not working, and this happens sometimes. I say this from time to time. A lot of YouTubers, and I'm not calling anybody out because I love all Jags YouTubers. A lot of YouTubers will spend a lot of time on their, like, production value and their thumbnails. In lieu of that, and just in the spirit of transparency, in lieu of that, I spend my time watching film. So a lot of times my thumbnails and production value is not top tier, but I watch a lot of film. Okay, so here we're gonna see them in this pistol set. Not the I like yellow. Here in the pistol set, and we all know what pistol is. We've all played Madden, right? We know what pistol set is. But they're lined up in this super tight formation. They have George Kittle in this like H-back formation here. But watch this play. And obviously the Cowboys are in this covered one right here. So watch this play right here. Pre-snap motion, as always. Shanahan's always going to run pre-snap motion. Watch this. Handoff, toss, toss. George Kittle is wide open. So the Jags run a lot of trick plays like this. So hopefully our defense is used to it, but Shanahan is not adverse to running this type of thing. And this was a huge game for them. I mean, the Cowboys are viewed as like one of their top teams in the NFC, which may not be saying much, but like they're going to do this type of thing, and they're going to get the ball to their playmakers 100%. I'm super backed up on comments here, boys. I'm so sorry. I'm going to just go here. For some reason, the alert box is not working. So when people become members during the show, it's not coming up. But Rico became a Matt Jones level member. So I appreciate that, Rico. That's awesome. I appreciate that. Thank you. Channel members, you guys are awesome. You guys know I love that. All right, I'm going to kind of scroll down through the comments and kind of, if I missed your comment, I say this all the time, just type it again. All right, type it again. Donald Gelsey says, "What's up, Jags United? Jags win, shock the NFL media. Go Jags." I like that. Robert Azard says, "The 49ers still have a lot of players hurt. We are good." So they are getting a lot of guys back, I think. I think the big people they're getting back this week, in this order, and I'm doing this intentionally, Deebo Samuel, Trent Williams, and Javon Hargrave. Now, I say Deebo over Trent Williams because we just looked at the efficiency of Purdy when Deebo's on the field. And he brings that extra element to the game. Very good player. Trent Williams, obviously your offensive line is important. I think he's coming back. And then Javon Hargrave. I mean, there's a play with Javon Hargrave. Let me see if I can find it here real quick. I have several subfolders here. Give me a second here. Oh, this one right here, dude. I mean, this was against the Vikings. And this is why I was kind of bummed to see Javon Hargrave come back. Because this is the type of play that if the Jags did this, like if Roy Robertson-Harris or Devon Hamilton or even Foley Fatukasi did this type of thing, I would clip this and I would be freaking getting crazy about this. This is a hell of a play here by Javon Hargrave. I'm going to play it out, and then I'm going to show you here again. All right, so watch him here. And so here, I'll call this the 3, maybe the 2-eye technique, depending on which coach you're talking to. Inside shoulder of the guard. So this guard could be Ezra Cleveland, Walker Little, Tyler Shatley. We really don't know here. But watch how he takes on the double team, finds the ball carrier against this I form with a lead back here. The Jaguars are going to have to run the ball. Let me watch him here. I mean, that's a play that I would highlight if this were the Jags. I mean, this is take on a double team, find the ball carrier in traffic, tackle for loss. I am not pumped about him at the nose because a lot of teams were able to run the ball against the 49ers because he wasn't in the game. This is an animal of a play right here. And I know they're getting in Chase Young. And I know he's been with the team for 2 weeks. So, but like, that's a play right there. Volkfang says, even after the bye, Jags are tied with the Saints in takeaways at 18. Okay, I'm glad you told me that. But the Saints haven't played all 9 games. XD Gamer says, United, I got a job at Wendy's yesterday, and should I ask for a promotion already? Now, XD Gamer, I personally will take 10 to 15 seconds here to talk about how much I dislike Wendy's. It's one of my least favorite fast food restaurant places. Now, maybe it's because the one here in Jax Beach is slow and the food's cold when you get it, but I could name you 5 fast food restaurants better than Wendy's, and I would say McDonald's is better than Wendy's. Again, maybe it's just recency bias. Sharney, what up, Sharney? Says, member Rico. Elena's dad says, Jags D will force 3 takeaways against an overrated Niners offense. They lost their left guard today. Volkfang says, Jags' biggest weakness is finishing drives with a fumble or an interception in the red zone. Otherwise, we can pass, run, play hard-nosed defense, and take the ball away. I was listening to the Ringer NFL show, and they led off their last show. It's one of the few national media people that actually do their research, and they led their show off with Jags 49ers. And one of the stats they said was the Jags lead the league in turnovers in the red zone. So, like, the offense turns the ball over in the red zone more than any other league. So, we saw the Lawrence interception. We've seen the fumbles. Tank Bigsby and Jamal Agnew are responsible for a couple of those. But we got to clean it up in the red zone. But here's the thing, though. Like the Jags, the 49ers have the ability to kind of click on any given Sunday and just go off. So that's why I think it's an intriguing game. That's why I think it's a good game. And that's why people are asking me for who I think is going to win. What's my score prediction? You guys know I do not do score predictions because that's the most asinine thing. That's like predicting the amount of wins in the preseason based off the schedule when we all know that teams aren't as good or are better than they were the year before. It makes no point. But, it depends on which team's going to show up. Jags Got Juice says, Wendy's is good, bro. Again, maybe it's just the Wendy's here in Jax Beach is bad. Maybe. I don't know. Nothing but tops CFA. Have you dipped the fries in the... Dude, people are coming out for Wendy's. Okay. United, I already got fired from Chick-fil-A and McDonald's and Burger King and Arby's. Okay, you didn't even mention Taco Bell, which is the goated fast food place. And if you disagree with that, then you're an idiot. Let's take a look at Nick Bosa. Because I know he hasn't been playing well, and people are like, Nick Bosa sucks. I know he's only had 9 tackles over the last 3 games. I get that. But if we look past the last 3 games, because some of us actually watched games before that, Nick Bosa does a really good job here. I mean, you all know who Nick Bosa is, but he's out here. Take a look. I mean, he does a good job here against the Cowboys, and the Cowboys are one of the premier teams in the NFC, according to everybody. I mean, he still can do this. So... I don't want to the Jags aren't going to take him lightly. I'm not saying that they're going to overlook him, but Jags fans probably shouldn't either. Here against the Cardinals, here you can line up here on the outside. He's got 2 tight ends. I think Ertz goes in motion, but I can't really remember if I'm being completely honest. Yeah. Oh, look at that, boys. Ertz goes in motion, slides over. I mean, that's an animal of a play right there. Again, if this were the Jags, I would be clipping this and talking about Trevon Walker or Josh Allen making an outstanding play in the backfield right here. So, Nick Bosa did not lose. He didn't Space Jam lose his talent to the aliens in the last 3 games. He's still a good defensive end. So, I hope Press Taylor and Doug Peterson have it game planned to where they're going to at least account for him at the edge there and not and what do you do with Nick Bosa on one side and now Chase Young on the other side, Javon Hargrave. Now, this is the same 49ers team and the same John Lynch GM that drafted D linemen 7 out of 8 years in the first round. So, they know the importance of drafting defensive linemen. So, I think the Jags are going to have to get the ball out quick. ETN, they're going to have to run the ball. I think you could probably beat the 49ers on the inside run. Let me look at what I have here. Here's the inside. This is the Bengals. This is Joe Mixon. They really do give up the inside run pretty well. I mean, this is what I picture ETN doing, and I know this is the Vikings. Inside zone here again. This is what I see ETN doing. This is the Bengals again. This is what the Jags, I hope, will do with ETN. And again, ETN's the key to this offense. And I know everybody loves Trevor and Calvin Ridley and Evan Ingram, and I know that. But the key to this offense has been, up to this point, Travis Etienne. So, like, we're going to have to do this type of thing. Like, you can get yards up the middle on this team. So, if we can establish the run and allow the 49ers linebackers to kind of play up, then we have something here. So, I'm going to put a pin in that, read some comments, but keep in your mind what the run game can do, okay? We'll get back to this in a second. Oh no, I'm way behind here. Okay. Montana says I might go to Wendy's tonight. Bro, Wendy's is disgusting, dude. It's what's good there? The Frosty and the fries? Are you going to sell me to go to a fast food restaurant because of the Frosty and the fries? Like, I can get a Frosty anywhere at an ice cream place. I can get fries at Chick-fil-A. The Frosty and the fries, there's got to be something better than that. Is their burger good? No. What else? Is their chicken nuggets good? No. Is their service good? Not in Jack's Beach, it's not. Jason Murica says, Wendy's sucks. Whataburger over everything. Special mention for late night Taco Bell. Whataburger is good. I'll give you that for sure. Montana says, Cane's is garbage, dude. It's not even seasoned. It's so expensive, and Cane's sauce is nasty. Now, Sharney just spent like an hour earlier today on my Twitch channel convincing me that the Cane sauce was actually comparable to Zaxby's sauce. So, someone's lying here. And you know me, boys. I do not like a liar, so someone's lying. Volkfang says, Taco Bell is definitely goated. Good food, dirt cheap, at least compared to the other big fast food chains. Timmy Devil is going to come in with some realism and say, watch Trevor take bad sacks, unwilling to launch the ball into the stands when he doesn't see the play. To be fair, though, Timmy, and I know you're saying he's frustrating, but to be fair, like, Trevor has made a lot of plays breaking out of sacks and, like, extending plays. So if you're a player of his caliber, in the back of your mind, you're not thinking, all right, let me just get to the next play. You're thinking, I got this. Now, for better or for worse, that's what he does. That's what he does. Montana says, bro, you need to get a good Wendy's and get a junior bacon cheeseburger. Timmy says Sonic has the best ice cream. Dote Widely says Baconator, bro. Bro, you guys aren't going to sell me on Wendy's. Like, I'm pretty open-minded. Like, I pride myself in being open-minded, but you're not going to sell me on Wendy's. Like, you're not. Wendy's is the Carolina Panthers of fast food restaurants, okay? You can say that they have a young quarterback and a coach who knows what he's doing, Frank Reich. But you're not going to convince me. At the end of the day, when I've been out with the boys and we've been bouncing around from establishment to establishment, I need a good meal late at night. Like I need a 59-yard field goal late at night. And Wendy's isn't going to give me that. Just like the Panthers aren't going to give me that. All right, so you have the run play. Here's where you're going to have problems. This is the Bengals showed you this. So they were able to run up and down with Joe Mixon. So here's what happens. When you run play action, and you can see they're in 11 gun personnel, the Bengals they don't do play action. But look what happens. So look at your linebackers. Sitting. They're all sitting right here because you've done so much in the short game. This is where the Jags, where if you buy protection here, you're going to get middle of the field. I mean, middle of the field against the 49ers has been consistently open. Here they're running like a little invert cover 2 where the corner's dropping back in the middle of the field safety here. But middle of the field is just open all day. I mean, I see this time and time again. This isn't like a one-off. I'm telling you, they do this all day against the 49ers. This is Joe Burrow on this quarterback draw. I can see Trevor Lawrence doing something like that. I mean, that's a good little play, like right there. Here's the Cardinals on a nice little crossing route. This has Jags formation written all over it. Now, we watch a lot of football around here, boys. This is a Doug Peterson formation if I've ever seen it. A 10 personnel, trips right bunch over here. Everyone playing on like a third of the field. This is a Doug Peterson formation right here. And the 49ers are going to end up blitzing here. Does this not have Christian Kirk written all over it? I mean, this is Christian Kirk all day. Crossing the middle of the field. Like, you're going to see this a lot. And this is what the Jags do well. So this is what gives me optimism about the Jags on Sundays, because we've seen this play a lot of times out of the Jags. This is a staple of the Doug Peterson offense. What else we have here? This is just Clelin Ferrell looking like trash here. Hargrave's in here. Clelin Ferrell, who's had to play a lot, and he's a backup, to be fair, but if you're an edge, and he's a big edge for like the type of edge that they play, you have 2 tight ends here, and he does not disengage at all on this block. Watch this. I mean, this is a tight end. Like, you can't let a tight end block you and let this. You can't let this happen. You just can't. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's going to come down to ETN. Like, I think the Jags win this game. And I do. I don't know the score because weird things happen. Like penalties, fumbles, like weird things happen. You guys know that. But, like, teams have had a lot of success running the ball against the 49ers. And I think the Jags will run the ball into oblivion. And then Trevor Lawrence will be set up for play action and will just be all day on those underneath crossing routes, check downs to Evan Ingram, Calvin Ridley on the speed outs. All of those things you're going to see for sure. Baconator. Okay, fair. The service is mid at best, like BK level. I only like Wendy's because they have good discounts if you use the app. Okay, now Jags got juice. Now that's something I did not factor in, was the app discounts. Jason Merica says, BK Burger's better than Wendy's. Only good burger at Wendy's is Baconator. Volkfang, bringing the conversation back to the Jaguars, thank God, says a lot of people forget that Trevor's 6'6" and has wheels. I think you get reminded of his size and athleticism when he does break those sacks and either rips the ball or just takes off. So much, man. I could see Trevor taking off and scrambling for 50-plus yards like he did against the Saints. Another thing that the Jags, I think, will be able to do is the 49ers corners aren't that great. Now, I'm going to show you a good or a bad play here against Charvarius Ward, and I like to be fair. This is against the Bengals. So, Charvarius Ward, they'll line him up one-on-one a lot of times. So whether this is Kirk, Ingram, or Ridley, they're going to line him up one-on-one. So there's times when he does good things, and there's times he does bad things. Here's a play at the goal line when they're expecting run, obviously. I mean, they got everybody in the box. They're in man on the outside. Burrow's able to escape the pocket, get outside. And, I mean, it's a holding. He gets called for a holding, and it's a touchdown. So, double whammy there. But if we go back, there is a good play here by Charvarius Ward. I mean, here against the Vikings. Here you're going to see him at the bottom of your screen. And here's a key here is here we're going to see the Vikings receiver try to do a little shallow inside release. And the way the NFL is set up is they do let the defense kind of beat you up a bit until you're at 5 yards. The receivers' routes are going to have to be, for the Jags, either stemmed inside or stemmed outside and get up the field to not allow Ward to beat you up here. Because watch him here. I mean, he beats up the receiver here on the inside release. He does a good job here. Beats him up on the slant and actually ends up taking the ball away. So, it depends on the situation. I think you could beat him if you wanted to, but he'll have these one-off plays where he does play well. I really do. Guy says, would love to see Tank on these drives up the middle. I'm worried about Tank. I'm worried about Tank. And I was a huge Tank guy. And I've been worried about a lot of people who've proved me wrong, but I'm worried about Tank right now. And it's not so much his play on the field, it's his usage. They're not using him a lot. And my general rule of thumb is that coaches know what they have more than we do. And the fact that they're not using him is just a little concerning. Now, I know he's a rookie. And it took Trevor a bit of time to adjust. And he's the prince that was promised. It took him a time to adjust as a rookie. Travon Walker, it's taken him time to adjust. I mean, I hope he gets it together, but I would rather see ETN get the bulk of the carries right now. Jags got juice says, I want to see Trevor truck another DB like he did in the Chiefs playoff game, but I also don't want him getting hurt. I think Trevor tactically chose to truck someone in the playoff game, and I think during the regular season he shouldn't because it's not worth it. Like a loss in the regular season is not worth it. So like slide through the ball out of bounds and live to see another play in the regular season. But I don't think Trevor has that in him. He's such a fierce competitor. He doesn't have that in him. Like he literally cannot differentiate between what he should do and what he can do. And we see that in the way he throws. We see that in the way that he runs. We see that in the way that he looks at receivers pre-snap. Like he'll snap the ball and he'll have a guy running wide open underneath, and he's like, you know what? I can fit in this tight window. I mean, we've watched enough film to know that Trevor has balls. He has balls of steel, and I love that about him, and I don't want him to change. But there are times when you go back and watch the film where you're like, you probably should have just taken the safer play. Antonio Tolentino says, also the Jags will have all of their defensive players back in this game, plus Walker Little back at guard. I'm really excited about seeing Devon Hamilton. I love Devon Hamilton. I have this weird affinity for Devon Hamilton. Like, I think when he's back, I think starting now going forward, Devon Hamilton's going to be one of the most impressive players on the defense. And I could be completely wrong, but when I am right, I want to go back to this and say, I told you so. And I'm not an I told you so type of guy. You guys know that. I'm wrong about things all the time. But I have an intuition about Devon Hamilton. I just can't put my thumb on it. Volkfang says, when they let Ridley have single coverage at least. Okay, now Ridley will eat if they do that. Duval TV says, Duval. Volkfang says, I'm worried about Tank's mentality. You can see how down he is on the sidelines, especially after losing those fumbles. Jags Juice says, we have so much depth at D tackle. Timmy Devil says, I'm not worried about Tank. Rookie has to get his feet wet, but why take away from ETN if the rookie is giving you unsure vibes? Well, I think the issue is there, Timmy. I think that's a good point. Is like, I think going into the bye, ETN led the league in carries. Now, again, I'm not one to get caught up in stats because led the league in carries when half of the league have had a bye week is not probably a fair estimation on carries, right? But at the same time, like you did draft a guy early to not be in that position. So, can you give Agnew jet sweeps? They've obviously tried to get the horizontal game going with like screen passes and things like that. But you're right. I mean, unsure vibes is probably the right word there. All right, let's take a look at their schedule. I did want to look at their schedule for a second, because it is kind of fascinating to look at like kind of what happened with the 49ers schedule here. Hold, please. Okay, so if we take a look here, look at the last 17 games, and we'll go back to blue just for last 17 games. Last 3 games. 1, 2, 3. Browns, Vikings, Bengals. Now, those are all 3 decent teams. Now, I'm not going to pretend like they're bad teams because they're not bad teams. Like the Browns, I know, have had their weird ups and downs. The Vikings have also had their weird ups and downs. And the Bengals have also had their weird ups and downs. But the Browns were one of the best defenses in the first half of the season, statistics-wise. The Vikings seem to be clicking, and I really love Kevin O'Connell. I really do, Kevin O'Connor. And the Bengals are clicking. But they only scored 17 points in all 3 of these games. So the teams they beat were, if you look at it, I mean, the Steelers, not impressive. The Rams, not impressive. The Giants, not impressive. And the Cardinals, not impressive. So I could almost be like their first 4 games when they started 4-0 were not that impressive. But then they beat the Cowboys 42-10. And that kind of like threw a wrench in the game plan. So I went back and watched like what happened in that game. It was kind of weird. And, you know, I would say like the Cowboys fumbled in their own red zone. But to be fair, McCaffrey fumbled in going into the end zone. So it's like the 49ers, it just all kind of came together for them. Like I was saying earlier in the show, it was clicking for the when it clicks for the Jags, they're unstoppable. When it's clicking for the 49ers, they're also unstoppable. That's why I think this is a good game and a good matchup. Now, we look at these last three. Debo didn't play that much. Trent Williams didn't play. Purdy was playing bad. The defense has not been good all year. So this is going to actually be one of these games that's going to be really hard to predict, and it's going to be really interesting to see. One thing that is interesting, look at their East Coast games. Okay, so they played at the Steelers, East Coast, at the Rams is West Coast, at home West Coast, at home West Coast, at home West Coast, Browns East Coast. We'll just to keep everyone on the same page. And then the Vikings, I don't know what time they're on. Central, Mountain, I don't know. But so take a look at here, and if we take a look at their let's look at their offensive grades here. We're going to go down to the 49ers. Now look at their East Coast games. The Steelers and the Browns. Okay, now look at their offensive grades here. 55.9 East Coast, 69.1. So their two worst offensive games were on the East Coast. Now, I would normally be someone that's like, they're professionals. Going to the East Coast with the time difference doesn't affect them. But I've been watching a lot of national media, and a lot of national media nowadays are former players. And a lot of former players talk about how there is, like, going to the East Coast from the West Coast is actually kind of a big deal. So I wouldn't have believed it, but when I look at the grades and I hear these people talk, like maybe we do have an advantage with them coming here. I don't know. Not sure. Could be wrong. Don't know. Volkfang says, I think we saw Tank has incredible athleticism, but he is just so down because he's lost so many balls, though I don't think all of them necessarily his fault. Guy says, well, Devon Hamilton needs to get Wendy's or something because he looks underweight. Well, I mean, he was like, didn't he have like an infection or something like that? I haven't seen him. Volkfang says, offensive and defensive line play really gets me going. I'm so excited to see Big Ham back and healthy. G. Grant says, Parker Washington was supposed to have more impact this year. He's been hurt. Like, he has not played at all. I don't think he's played at all. Let's see here. Parker Washington. He's only played one snap. I mean, he's been hurt. He's played one snap all year. So, it's a 6th-round pick. Tyson Campbell versus Brandon Ayuk. We've gone 46 minutes. I have not even mentioned Brandon Ayuk at all. That's wild. Good player. Very good player. Steven Giles says, what about Dearness Johnson? To me, he's looked really good in the limited touches he's had. Quick burst finds the hole. Ernest Johnson. All right, so total snaps. He had 12 snaps against Houston. He had 6 snaps against Kansas City, so Kansas City was his best game. But besides those 2 games, he hasn't had more than 3 snaps, including 3 games with 1 snap, 2 games with 2 snaps, or 1 game with 2 snaps, and 2 games with 3 snaps. So he's just not seeing the field at all. He's only ran the ball 9 times. Alana's dad says the Niners haven't beat anyone outside of the Cowboys where Dak gave them the game. He's probably been on Bart's smoothie diet. Cash Shoot says we need Cisco and Lloyd to handle Kittle. Now, Kittle's a good player. Kittle's a good player now. Reminds me a lot of Evan Ingram. I think he's a better blocker, actually. I think he's a better blocker than Evan Ingram. Jags Got Juice says, I think we're going to get some magic this game, similar to the Ravens and Cowboys games last season. I like that. Guy says, what's crazy is that when ETN went down, there seemed to have been a decent split between Johnson and Tank with their carries. He played 1 snap and got injured. He got hurt on that punt return. Shay, channel member Shay, says, just got here, about to watch from the beginning, but wanted to say the Jags are winning this game, putting the league on notice. Shay, I'm glad you popped into the live. Go back and watch it from the beginning. You're going to like it. You're going to like it. G. Grant says, Tank Bigsby's rookie Xanax should wear off by the home stretch. He will make plays. Bang, bang, Niners gang, says Jose. That's fine. Listen, we accept all people. We accept all people around here. Let me see if there's any. I have more clips here. Oh, here's something that we haven't talked about yet. Brock Purdy can kind of get outside the pocket. Like, watch these 3 plays right here. Watch Brock Purdy right here. Okay, so this is against the Bengals. Empty set. Kittle at the line. Watch him here. This is a scramble. This is an improvisation right here. Like, he's been pretty good, like, scrambling the football. This is against the Vikings. That's pretty elusive right there. This is against the Bengals again. So, like, he's not afraid to run. Like, that's for sure. So, I don't know if the Jags have accounted for that. I'm sure they have because they've watched more film than me. Duval TV says, I think Johnson and Tank not seeing the field is not indicative of their talent or lack thereof, but more of how good ETN actually is. I like that, Duval TV. Jose says 49ers 23, Jags 19. Listen, the 49ers are a 3-point favorite. So your 4-point prediction is not far off from Vegas. G. Grant says, I can't remember the Jags ever winning while wearing all teal, though. I guess you're right. I guess I can't remember that either. Here's a Ray McLeod sweep. I'm sure they'll do this with Debo. But, I mean, they're definitely going to try to do this type of thing for sure. Here's something that's interesting. This is Travion Williams, who I like as a kick returner. Like, he's not bad. He's really not bad. But he's not Agnew. So, like, if the 49ers do this type of thing, I think Agnew might be able to pop one. Like, Agnew's gone right there, is he not? Like, I'm no expert. I'm no special teams coach. But if Jamal Agnew gets this lane, my boy's gone. So, this isn't even really that well blocked up. This is just poor. When you talk about when you're coaching special teams, like, stay in your lane. Whoever's responsible for this, you know, we'll call this the L. So how they do it is, and we won't get too technical here. We'll go back to the beginning here. So, you know, this is not, we have to flip it because we're the kick team, but the kick team, this is the L side and this is the R side, right? So this is the R1, there's the L1, the L2, the L3, the L4, and the L5. It's not very complicated. You stay in your lane. And if you get blocked, you still stay in your lane. So the L1 and the L2, I don't know what happens between those two guys, but they lose contain real quick. The L1 there, like, what are you doing? Terrible, terrible, terrible. Hopefully they replace that guy on special teams. Number 30, whoever that is. Jaguars are good, and it's going to be really tough. Lawrence is a damn good quarterback, and the Jags have speed, which doesn't bode well with the 49ers. It's going to be a good game, Jose. Like, it's going to be a good game. And, like, national media is talking about it being a good game. It's the game of the week. It's the best game of the week, hands down. It sucks it's at 1 o'clock, but the Jags have 2 more primetime games coming up, so we'll be okay. Duval TV says they wanted all teal to secure the AFC South versus the Titans. That's why we like Duval Teal around, or Duval TV around here. I might need to take this. I might need to take the Zimbabwe out. All right. Montana, that should be a house call. Don't get your hopes up there. He'll fumble. I don't like that. I don't like that guy at all. Let's see if I have any other plays here. I might have shown them all. Oh, did I talk about Isaiah Oliver at all? Isaiah Oliver? Here's a play here. Their nickel corner, Isaiah Oliver, is a liability, dude. A straight up liability. Like, that's no good. Like, that's a play the Jags will run. Because, again, Peterson and Press Taylor love this trips right bunch. And they run it to the left, too. But this trips bunch. They love this bunch formation. And they're going to play straight up man here. So, what they're going to do, the 49ers, and I'm super anti this. I'm a big fan of pressing this guy here, this DB playing first guy in, this DB playing first guy out. Pattern match, palms coverage. This is how I teach it when I coach defense. For some reason in the NFL, they just do man. So because of this, because of this new philosophy, he's going to be manned up here, and then he's going to be manned up here. Which, okay, great, but offenses know this, and then you run this type of play right here, and there's just you're unable to cover it. I mean, that's a touchdown all day. And that's what the Jags do. I mean, they do this. I mean, that's the Jags. That's Calvin Ridley. That's Christian Kirk. That's Zay Jones. That's all day right there. Here's him getting beat again. So here they're in this like zero coverage again. You're going to see them just one high safety and just absolutely burnt toast, bro. Just burnt toast. He comes over, no shot. So whatever matchup we get on Isaiah Oliver, like we may look back on this video and this show and be like, yeah, Isaiah Oliver was the weak spot on this 49ers defense because their coverage has not been good all year. And they just throw this up. He didn't even need that much time. It's the same type of play 2 times in a row right there. Not good. Here's the Vikings running a dig route again. I like this. I mean, this is Kevin O'Connor just doing his thing right here. Watch this little pre-snap motion. I mean, this is tricky. This is tricky. So they're going to run basically a corner route and then a dig route, right? And so they're in a cover 1. So basically this free safety middle of the field has to pick between chasing this corner or sitting on this dig. And the dig's right in front of his face. And Cousins does a good job looking off the safety. But now you're asking this linebacker to cover this corner. So this is a very basic route concept that the Jags run time and time again. And it's tutty. I mean, this is what the Jags do this. This is not like the 49ers secondary has been suspect. That linebacker stands no chance right there. Stands absolutely no chance. I think that's all my plays. Look at that. Don't get okay. Agnew is a captain this game, says Alana's dad. G Grant says I'm on the stop giving Agnew offensive touches train too. He's been better recently, boys. He's been better. Jags God Juice says, I'm fine with giving Agnew end arounds and designed runs, but tired of him running. He's been better. He's been better. We got to look this up here. You guys, like, listen, I'm the first one to say don't give Jamal Agnew. Listen, we've all seen it, but he's been better lately. I mean, okay. He is what he is. He is what he is. Let's see here. Receiving. All right. So, week 8, he was on 14 pass snaps. Okay, week 7 against the Saints. Week 7. 6 targets, 4 receptions for 36 yards. Week 3 against Houston. 5 targets, 4 receptions. So look at his reception percentage. It's 75%. Now I know he fumbles. I know he had the fumble against Houston. but he's actually doing a good job when he's targeted. When you look at the actual numbers, when he's targeted, he's doing a good job. Like 0 targets in week 5, 6, and 8. Caught his 1 pass in week 2. Caught 4 of his 5 in week 3, and caught 4 of his 6 in week 7. I mean, well, there's 1 fumble on the season. 1 fumble. I think you guys are giving Agnew, and listen, I was tough on Agnew. Beginning of the year, I was right there with y'all. But when he's called upon, he's caught 75% of his targets with only 1 fumble. I think I'll be a little too tough on him. Cash Shoot says Jags are going to win 28-17 and Trevor will throw 2 touchdowns. Book it. Okay. Alana's dad says, who is wide receiver 3 with Zay Jones out? It should be Elijah Cooks, not Tim Jones or Agnew. So Agnew is your receiving wide receiver 3, and Tim Jones is your blocking wide receiver 3. Because Tim Jones is actually a really good blocker, especially around the line of scrimmage. Wide receiver 3 is Ingram, LOL. Cooks, Jones, and Agnew should not get any looks against a squad like this. Agnew is better than y'all think. Look at these numbers. Something bad happens on offense anytime Agnew. No, it doesn't. I mean, if fumbles are keeping Tank on the sidelines, he only has 1 fumble. He only has 1 fumble, guy. He hasn't caught the ball 3 yards past the line of scrimmage. He's a kick returner, and that's it. 9 touches and 1 fumble is a liability. It's only 9 receptions, not 9 touches. If you look at his rushing, let's look at his rushing. 5 attempts, negative 2 yards. Okay, moving on. Just always feel like he's going to drop the ball, says Cali Jag. Okay, all right, that's it. We're not talking about Agnew anymore. Okay, listen, that's going to be it. Friday night show, we're wrapping it up. That was it. That's all my film. It's all my PFF. Had a great time talking Jags with you guys. I appreciate it. Did you see Nick Wright donate $500? I did see that. And I tweeted, actually, I tweeted that I didn't like Nick Wright because he did a top, before I even knew who Nick Wright was. Like, this was probably last year, more than last year. This was like a while ago. He said he did a top, I like Nick Wright now. Like, he does his research. I'll give Nick Wright that. He did a top 50 NBA players, and he had Tracy McGrady not in his top 50 NBA players of all time. Tracy McGrady is my second favorite NBA basketball player of all time. My number 1 player is JJ Redick, right there on the wall. But the fact that Tracy McGrady wasn't in his top 50 is asinine. So I didn't like him at first. But then I started watching kind of FS1, and I kind of realized that he was like hyping up the Jags. So I like Nick right now. He actually knows what he's talking about, and that's why he's got the gig that he's got. He actually knows what he's talking about. So I like Nick Wright. Rico, channel member, is just laughing at me. I appreciate it. All right, listen, that's it. We're putting a bow on it. The Friday night show. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. I'm pumped for the Jags game. Hit me up if you're going down there. Probably go through the slab. See everyone down there. Again, dude, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Like, great show. Thank you to the channel members that were here. Rico, Shay, Volkfang. Who else we got? Scrolling up here. Sharney. Good talk. I've been talking to Sharney all day. Rico, who's now a channel member. Shout out to Rico. Who joined the Matt Jones level. I appreciate you guys all being here. Looking forward to Sunday. We'll talk Jags on Tuesday night. Hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. You guys know what to do. Follow. Like the video. If you're still here, like the video. It helps out a lot, and it'll be good. I love you guys from the bottom of my heart. I will see you guys on Tuesday, and until then, go Jags.